That technique is a problem, you know. There's nothing. It doesn't work. Are you ready? Really? Okay. Hyunjo Sancho Rinpoche Ma Ye Ba Na He Yore Ye Ba Namba Me Koni Kondam Perwa Sho Sosa Dunga Chandra Che Chen Chen Nyason Me Bon Hyava Del Sim Chen Tan De Nyer De Dang Chen Na Tamba Nam Jinin Te Tsar De So. I think this month is very special month. It's we call the Sakadava. I think it's yesterday is start, yes. And Sakadava is very important month because for the Buddhist point of view, because this month, the 7th, is Bodhicitta's birthday. And 12 is there is 3 is happened. One is like enlightened day and also Parinirvana's day. And someone said it's like in this month of the 12th, Buddha entered into the mother's womb. And if that case, then it's like 4 like auspicious like month. And in the month of the 12 Buddha's deeds, wondrous deeds, and like most 4 is like happened, it's like same this month. And of course like Parinirvana and enlightened also we say it's like 12th, but in 15 is like most full moon. Everybody's make celebration, pray, and don't eat meat, and completely to be vegetarian. Of course, someone's a little difficult to don't eat meat to stop it, but maybe first day and 7th, 12th, 15, and in the like last the day of this month, like kind of the empty moon. Like this, then this the oh yeah, technique problem. I told you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yes, but people can hear, yes, but it's far. Okay, no problem. Everything is okay. Like this just exit also. Then it's very important to practice patience. Don't become angry. And you know, in the Shantideva said, good works gathered in 1,000 ages, such as deeds of the generosity, discipline, or any kind of the transcendent, 6 transcendent perfections, or any virtues, were all offering to the blissful ones a single flash. Anger, hatred, shocks them, everything's distorted. Therefore, and now it's like beside the Bodhicitta, we also studying the Bodhicitta's precepts. And when we are study the Bodhicitta itself has true aspect, compassion aspect, wisdom aspect, you can to say. Or Bodhicitta itself is like kind of the true goals. Or it is like kind of the compassion aspect and the wisdom aspect. And then this compassion enhanced by the four like immeasurables or boundless qualities. And also if you have discipline according to the Bodhicitta of the aspiration and the Bodhicitta of the application in the relative Bodhicitta's point of view, then is our Bodhicitta is inconceivable benefit for you, for everybody. It's a really, really, really. Then is the opposite is Bodhicitta. It is the anger, hatred, desire, attachment, jealousy, so on. There is such 84,000 negative disturbed emotions. And there are the against the compassion, kindness, or the Bodhicitta. Why? Because if we any kind of this 84,000 disturbed emotions, then it can destroy ourselves, can destroy the other, can destroy the virtue, can destroy everything. That perspective, it's very important to practice patience. And now it is like the discipline of the Bodhicitta's application. And application Bodhicitta's perspective, there's the 6 transcendent perfections. It is the Bodhisattvas, all the Bodhisattvas' principal path. All the Buddha and Bodhisattvas' activity is the 6 transcendent perfections. And they apply the 6 transcendent perfections. They meditate, practice on the 6 transcendent perfections. They actually realize the 6 transcendent perfections. Then they are called transcendent, parinirvana, and it's a completely, fully awakened happiness, the mind itself. Therefore, now we already studied about the transcendent of the generosity, the transcendent of the patience. Discipline is a true, the transcendent perfection is we already studied. Now we are in the 3rd transcendent perfection of the patience. And patience itself, there is like kind of 3 type of. First, it is like any kind of this others disturb to us to practice patience. Any kind of the sentient beings anger attitudes to us. And second is today we are going to study patience to bear the hardship for the Dharma. And that is like kind of in order to practice Dharma, sometimes it's very much complicated. And Guru Rinpoche said, if you really to practice deeply the Dharma, and that much demons, ghosts, obstacles can harm to you. If you don't practice any kind of Dharma, particularly sometimes you do the negative things, they can to help you. Seemingly you are healthy, you are more nice, but of course, ultimately, absolutely need to go to more and more lower realms. But all anyway is good things whenever we do. There are all the time is problems, laziness, obstacles, everything occur when we do any good things, positive things. And sometimes we become tired, someone's like to stop. It's almost that our mind is nothing interest. And but for example, in the negative some activities, how much we need effortlessly to do it. We never tired. When we're angry, we need to do. We never become tired. We never be like kind of laziness. Exactly according to this attachment, aversion, jealousies, so on, so on. But when we generate bodhicitta to really recite the mantra, practice, to study Dharma, immediately there is kind of complications can come. Need to sleep, need to rest, need to like kind of collect. Someone's like kind of all the times to problems for this path. And therefore it is like sometimes when we do the Dharma, there's some strange circumstances can occur, but you should to practice patience, it said. And for the sake of the practice in Dharma, you should ignore heat, cold, and all other difficulties. There's many, sometimes hungry, sometimes thirsty, sometimes no food, clothes, shelter, and partner, families. But if you do practice sincerely, and that is the more valuable, more important for all your families, or yourself, or other sentient beings. Maybe in the temporarily, you kind of protect your heat, cold, and difficult cold things, situations, and you take care of family, friend, and food, clothes. And in order to take care, all your life you spend it, your activities embarked, and a lot of negative things. And then I'm not sure that finally it is not very good. And therefore, when you are practicing Dharma, you should ignore some a little bit heat, cold, and also are there any difficult things. Maybe if you sincerely, confirmedly, really to practice Dharma, then finally you are the winner. Your cold is become good, your heat is like kind of the good. Any kind of negative circumstances, it's become your good conditions. And like in the sutta, or in the tantra says, even through flaming in Phenos or the sea of razor sharp blends, search for the Dharma until you die. And in this Tibetan, a little bit, I don't know, maybe others, I didn't check our correction Patrul Rinpoche's book. There's a and also it's like there's the sea of the lezo. This one is a translation is said, but many texts it is said like kind of the H, like sharp H. So it's like the teeth or the H part, a razor sharp, like a blend. Search for the Dharma until you die. What does it mean? It is like kind of, even you need to bear after your condition. It is like hot is like kind of infinite the fires. And these kind of situations, you ignored this hot, you are practice Dharma. Maybe it is like kind of the such difficult situation, very, very dangerous situations. Like you are sitting on the razor sharp blaze on the edge. If you move, you are cut. You are become the true peace. But even this kind of danger situation, do not forget, do not give up. Practice Dharma. To search for the Dharma until you die. From now until you die. For example, there is the ancient Kadampas had these 4 goals. It is very important, most Kadampa Geshis, they recited this kind of mantra we call the wrathful mantra. Or this kind of really is like, the goal is like this. It goes like this. Base your mind on the Dharma. Base your Dharma on a humble life. Base your humble life on the thought of the death. Base your death on an empty, barren hollows. Barren hollows. And what does it mean? You all the kind of the minders, day and night, concerning on the Dharma. Therefore, say, base your mind on the Dharma. Nothing kind of arrangement of any worldly or past futures, only solely to concerning on the Dharma. Base your Dharma on a humble life. And also, if you really to practice honestly Dharma and need to take the low profile, if you expecting kind of the higher positions, famous, or kind of the a comfort, well-being, and also it's kind of the famous, this sort of, if you're thinking you are high, you never perfectly accomplish the Dharma. And you are kind of main, you're kind of the goal, idea is a Dharma, and also to take the low profile, humble life. Nothing expectations in this world, nothing achievement. Only maybe it is the further enlightenment, the benefit for the sentient beings. Base your humble life on the thought of the death. That is the impermanent. If you really to thinking about impermanent, and it's become more diligent for the Dharma, and even if you go to the solitude place, and if you understand the impermanent, your practice become the profound, deep. And also if you practice the death or the impermanent, first is bring you into the path of Dharma. In the middle, if you are thinking more the impermanent of the death, and it can to really help in your practice Dharma. And finally, if you more think about the impermanent of the death, it can support you, make the successful your practice Dharma. Therefore, thoughts of the death, it is very important. And base your death on the empty, barren hollows. It is not kind of friend, not necessarily. Many yogis, they die on the empty place. Nobody's cry to you. Nobody's worry you. You just kind of die up in the solitude place. Like you are the birds, kind of fly in the sky, nothing left. And exactly you practice the Dharma, you are in the empty, in the solitude place, and kind of the barren hollow. And then it's there's nothing kind of attached to in this world. You fly into in the citadel of the enlightenment or the Buddhahood. Therefore, that is very important. This is Kadampa Geshis all the times to have the mind. If we practice Dharma, it is very important. Repeat again and again and again like this. Base your mind. Base my mind on the Dharma. Base my Dharma on a humble life. Base my humble life on the thought of the death. Base death on empty, barren hollows, and to recite or memorize, and like this. Not like this. These days now is like some Dharma practitioners. Nowadays, we think we can practice Dharma alongside our worldly activities without the slightest need for determination or the for hardship. All the well enjoy comfort, well-being, and popularities. That's right. And it's like difficult to practice patience for the Dharma practice, or the practice in Dharma, and difficult to practice difficult things. This day is like kind of we haven't got much any diligence, or it's like kind of we're not dedicated for the Dharma. And we see like kind of the Dharma practice alongside our worldly activities, daily activities, families activities, business activities, and connect to the desire attachment, connect to anger, hatred, ignorant, and busy mind, particularly worldly activity. The mental is like kind of absolutely sink into the hustle and bustle. And also it's like without the slightest need for the determinations, for the hardships. We don't think about the samsaras, the sufferings. We are very much interested to be enlightenment, but to be enlightenment very relaxedly. We say we need just a simple meditation, simple education. We don't need those complications. For example, if you go to the Russian sometimes, some student, they're really to practice. Some student is like kind of want to become very much quickly enlightenment. And someone is like kind of the complain. And someone says like also it's like in Tibet, Russian, Japan, it's a make joke, okay, particularly in the Europe. And just the democratic countries, which is relaxedly, very simple. We don't need that Tibetan's education. Yeah, just a very kind of the, what I need, I enjoy, I did enjoy comfort, nice cushion, nice kind of tea, and like kind of nothing but nothing, stomach is full, no cold, no hot, and also it's like everything. And also I need joy, well-being. Maybe it's like kind of the, wherever you want you can go, you are quite rich, and you have everything in the worldly. And also sometimes, and also it's like kind of the popularities, and also. This is today's and also teachings, and also it's like the and also is like this, and also is like the, this is very nice English, and also, which kind of language? And also popularities, and also well-beings, and also comfort. And this kind of joy, it's like some our students, when we start the Sheda, oh, this is really, it's like kind of very stupid education, very complicated. We don't need these things. We are just like kind of very simple, easy meditations. So nice. Nice. I make joke. This kind of my meditation, it's like, if I practice Hundro, Sir, or something, go to the sadhana, and I want to finish it quickly, and also it's like back and neck, stomach, and so. It's like a really bottom, knee, so complicated. This sort of we don't need, but we want to be enlightenment. I don't know how to become enlightenment. I think it's like I am like this. Then all the times, I am like very much ordinary persons. And then also it's ordinary. Just relax, ice cream, and it's like kind of, and in the very nice comfort bed, chair, and house. Oh, yeah. Well-being, said someone's coming. Oh, you are so nice, great. Yes. Also, I need to become the popularity in the front of the people. Also, this kind of I think it's very difficult to be enlightenment. But of course, if we want, that is our choice. Yes, like this. But in the like kind of, it's really too serious to practice Dharma along our worldly activities. Enjoy comfort, well-being, popularities. It's quite very difficult. Other people manage to do it. We insisted and say, and like kind of admirably, now that's good Lama, monk, practitioners. He know how to combine Dharma and the worldly lives. We, of course, like many people to say like this, this very good lamas, or very good monk, very good nun, very good Dharma practitioners. Why? He can do both, Dharma and worldly life, both. But I'm not sure it is really the both can do it. There's many like Patrul Rinpoche described here. But how could there be a way to the Dharma, like a merry Dharma with worldly life? Of course, like you make like kind of the ceremony, the marriage of the Dharma and worldly life. And it goes together? Are you sure? Really? And Patrul Rinpoche described, he says, that those who claim to be doing so are like to be leading a good worldly life, but you may be sure that they are not practicing pure dharmas. And Patrul Rinpoche say like this, and says like maybe if in this perspective, maybe you worldly quite very capable, intelligent, maybe you done a lot of, but 100% sure, and the dharmic perspective, you are not pure practitioner of the Dharma. Because this doesn't go together. And for example, there's the example. To claim that you can practice Dharma and worldly life at the same time is like sewing that you can sew with double-pointed needles. And any kind of you sewing machine, those sewing tanks, is like a one-pointed needle. Cannot to have a double-pointed needle. Impossible. And also like same as the examples, like put fire and water in the same container, or rider to horse in the opposite directions. Well, these things are simply impossible. That is Patrul Rinpoche say like this. If you want contain to put the fire and water, it goes? I don't think so, he said. If you like two horse, one is like direction south, one is the north, or maybe it's like west, this south and north. Then you can ride it in 100% sure. They may be like kind of the break tail, or maybe impossible they can go. This is like kind of the almost 100%, it doesn't correspond. It cannot marry this dharma and worldly activities together. That is the impossible, and Patrul Rinpoche say that we need to analyze, we need to think, and which is the most priorities, which is the most important. Maybe may you think, then how I can to practice? I have worldly activities with my family, with my business, with my things. Yes, but also that is like not necessarily doing the negative way. And you can do these things also how much in the described in the above. More connect to the Dharma, compassionate, kindness. And how many is described but worldly activities, like kind of combine the compassion? Absolutely, 100%. And you doing your like kind of normal life without like kind of cunning and deceptive, or it's like kind of cheating, tricking to the other sentient beings. Maybe it's like try to more to stop the 10 negative actions, to create more and more positive things, 10 positive actions. You're not going to die 100%. Maybe more and more you become the comfort, well-being, and popularities. And maybe because it's like the good things, the ending is fantastic. Even when you look the film, some good persons like kind of all the times helping to others like winner. And the criminals, negative persons, beginning winner at the end. Even we imagine like this is not really the create like this. Actually, we are love really truth and more positive ways than this. And there is another example. Could any ordinary person ever surpass Buddha Shakyamuni? Buddha Shakyamuni is like kind of the better than any human beings of the Shakyamuni, and we are like kind of the better than the Shakyamuni or worse than the Shakyamanis. If Buddha Shakyamuni is the best as the human beings, yet even he found no way of the practicing the Dharma and worldly life. Side by side, he gave up palace. Therefore, instead he left his kingdom behind like a speck in the dust and went to live on the banks of the river Naranjana, where he practiced asceticism from 6 years. During the 6 years, he nothing kind of concern any at all worldly, only Dharma. That he understood like two things to put in that one container, like a fire and waters, like kind of the 2-point needles, sewing things. It's impossible. Therefore, during the 6 years, he asceticism practice, he never mixed, nourishing himself on only a single drop of the water and the single grain of the barley every year. How much he put like kind of the practice patience for the in order to practice the Dharma. And of course, hunger and thirsty, cold. And he hasn't got any like shelter, like only trees, living on the trees. No cushion, only sitting on the grass. No food, only like kind of the single barley every day. And not much drink, there is like a single drops per day. He drink and eat that, and like kind of the 6 years he's searching his mind and he meditate on it. During the 6 years, he's not like kind of practice Dhamma, very comfortable, joy and comfort, well-being and popularities. How he is like be under the asceticism way, hardships. And same as another his stories. What about Justin Malaripa? in Tibet, a great yogi. While he was doing his practice, he had neither food nor clothes. And he is no kind of the food, only grass, and no cloth, only he has one like kind of the simple white cotton, and that is like trousers, that is t-shirt, that is hat, that is the like kind of the his mattis. Everything is he has only like kind of scarf or something white, like this. And he ate nothing but nettles. Nettle is like kind of the green outside, very much tiny needle. When you pick up, very dangerous. It can attack your hand. But it's very delicious, very healthy food. Before it's like kind of to become old, you eat, very good for you. Every naturally grow up. In Tibet we call the sas. Sahjakse. In English you call the nettles. And his whole body became like a skeleton, covered with greenish hairs. And like kind of the body is like become thinner. And it's okay. We are all the time is like kind of taking care, go to in the cosmetic shop, buy all the creams, even I do myself. And sometimes I put some cream or the aloe veras whole in my hard face, and whole night. In the morning is my pillow and my head is stick, but still to kind of to keep fresh. And many people they doing, but finally it's Malaripa's body and our body same. We need to put into the cemetery, or to give water, or maybe insect, or fire, or water. But of course, Malaripa, he used his own body like this. Finally, he's become a little bit like skeleton. And also on the body, there's a lot of like green, like greenish hair. But innerly, how much is successful? We like to take care until we die, buy lot of like kind of the cosmetic things, every day take shower, put on our body, very expensive, and a lot of like kind of the delicious, and also often to sleep bomb, say the natural bombs also like giving, and like this, then and like this, but finally it's become the same cemetery, or it's like other parts. When we death times, body is useless. But one person's like Malaripa's Buddha's, this body is useful for benefit for all sentient beings themselves. We are like kind of, my body is more sick, more problems, like this. Okay, like this. Those who saw him had no ideas whether he was a human or demons, like this. And also there's his stories. When he is lying down on the one like kind of the hole on the ground, and little bit like kind of getting the sun light, and three ladies arrive. They saw this. Wow, my gosh. One lady said, look, this is a demon or human beings. And so strange, so I'm scared. One lady said, oh gosh, I never ever reborn in this kind of lives. One lady said, don't say like this, maybe something is like important, who knows? And then he get up and he's like a kind of singing. Okay, this prayer wrong, this prayers lady, I think you are wrong. Even if you are pray like to get the rebirth of the same my life, it's impossible. I'm not a ghost, I'm a human being. And then it's very everybody like kind of confess, sorry, it's like this. Of course, he's like kind of under the hardship to practice Dharma, he's become like this, but innerly absolutely extraordinary. Like this. And also the fact that the practice the Dharma to that point, to tenaciously and accepting hardship so willingly, solely proves that is the impossible to follow the Dharma and worldly life at the same time. And it is like kind of, if you really to purely to practice Dharma, one-pointedly, and like kind of tenaciously you are holding, really to practice Dharma, accepting the hardship, willingly, admiredly, happily, surely proves that is the, and like the impossible to follow a Dharma worldly life at the same time. If you really to practice serious Dharma, I think it's like lively activity, worldly life, it goes very, very difficult. And which is like more priorities, which one is more emphasized, that is the more important. And therefore, in order to practice Dharma, sometimes it's a little bit hard, but we need to practice patience. And also maybe you think Milarepa is not very capable. Maybe you think, could Milarepa really have been too hopeless to know how to combine the two, worldly or Dharma? I don't think so. Milarepa is very intelligent, diligent, worldly. He can really to do something. Yes, he can do. Most diligent person in this world, most intelligent, most like kind of study things. Whatever we study, he's very fast, very quickly. When he's like kind of also very, very strong. And it's like nobody's defeat to him. Like this, if he do worldly, he can to become successful. But he give up and he practice Dharma. And the great Siddha Melon Dorje, Tong Melon Dorje. And this is a great yogi in Tibet. And this is like kind of the very, very famous yogi. Attained accomplishment, he became enlightenment. After practicing for the 9 years, eating nothing but the bark of the lucky trees. Lucky tree is like the water tree. Sometimes in the river bank, they have this sort of, generally like doctors, they make the powder for the medicine of the god blood. But you sometimes maybe but generally people to eat that 100% going to die. I mean, it's like you eat every day. But the Trong Melon Dorjes, like Dzogchen Melon Dorjes, Siddha Melon Dorjes, he every day eat the bark of the lucky tree to skin of the lucky tree. And he became 9 years after he became a complete enlightenment. Very famous masters. And the same there is the historic Dzogchen Ranyak Patrul, the omniscient servant of the Dharma, and most like kind of the Dharmakaya and like the form into the human beings. Leave only 21 pills of mercury for the many months. This of course is like kind of some medicine, and like kind of mercury is normally, of course, it is the poisons, but it is like you can to purify it, then it's like kind of the medicine. It's possible. This is very much natural and like kind of this. But anyway, there's nothing kind of say, only one mercury for pill, like kind of the every this, like this, and like this. And also he has not kind of the comfort, well-being. Of course, he's naturally very much popularity, but he hasn't got any like beginning, this kind of sort of thing. When it's the sono, he used to get into a raw sack that served him as the both bed and clothing. He has like kind of sleep back, like kind of the big sack. Maybe it's like made by wood or some cotton, something like this. And like kind of the sonos, as weather's become very cold, he's going inside in the cave. He sleep inside. When it's like it's okay, he need to sit, and that is the cushion. Only he has that one, nothing else. And also food, it is like kind of the 21 pills, like made the mercuries. Nothing kind of the hot or delicious pizza, lasagna, and nothing this sort of. And like then it's become like same as the seventh butters. And also it is like all the siddhas of the past attained accomplishment only by the practice with determination, willingly accepting all the hardships, having cast aside every worldly activities. And all the worldly activities like kind of get rid aside and live and focus on the Dharma absolutely, and it's like their goal, their idea, their thinking, their concerning only Dharma want to accomplish on single in this life. Then they have become the like kind of the determination, they become the Mahasiddhis, enlightenment, same as the level of the Buddha. And like this, then they practice patience, any kind of hardships, in order to attain accomplishment of the Dharma. Also, we need to practice patience in order to practice Dharma. Not one of them attain the realization by the practicing alongside the usually activities of the everyday life. Enjoy comfort, well-being, and the popularities of the fames. And those all the Mahasiddhis, great masters, included Buddhas, those are the how it is accomplished the Dharma. They go under the such ascetic way or hardships. Then like never become the enlightenment through the enjoy, comfort, well-being, and popularities ways. And Rinzin Jigme Lingpa says, and by this Longchen Hintik's tradition founder, and the most like kind of the wisdom disciple of the Longchen Ranyak Patrul, and that is the Rinzin Jigme Lingpa. He said that by the time you have set yourself up with a comfortable place to stay, plenty of food, warm clothes, and generous benefactors, you have completely cultivated the demon before even starting to cultivate the Dharma. That right? You go to in the solitude place. First time you make the comfortable house and very nice place, warm, and also it's like you have inside nice bed, nice cushion, fantastic altar, and plenty of the, you say, food, and warm clothes, and also like kind of the generosity benefactor. You have sponsors every day, maybe bring hot food, cold food, tea, everything. And then it's like your first time is you cultivated or like kind of connected or created demon obstacles before you start the cultivate Dharma. That is like kind of very difficult to practice Dharma. It is truth. You, as much as you comfort well-beings, then you slowly forgot Dharma. You know, these days someone says, I'm going to retreat. Oh yes, I need my computer, I need my telephone. I also sometimes it's necessary, I need TV. These three things we bring into the retreat place, absolutely we are cultivated the demons, 100%. You know, this modern days like this, the meditations. This is my telephone, okay? And telephone my son. Ding, this message is coming. Ding. Hello, I'm now in the retreat, okay? I will call you later. Ding. Oh, and then the end eating. And then it's also, it's like my TV control is there. Oh, BBC World. Oh, Al Jazeera. Oh, look, war in the Israel and the Palestinians. Gaza is attack. Oh, yeah, now there's. Hey, you know there's war. News. And I need to Google. Oh, yes, my internet doesn't work. Can you help me? My internet. Then it's like this. All we are spent. It's me too like this. Okay, I'm talking about my situation, not you. Surely you are not like this. And therefore, it is like go to retreat. Ancient times, no television, no telephone, no like this. Even not much food or clothes. This condition is helps. These conditions really to bring us to be the enlightenment. Absolutely like this. This is really truth. When I analyze, this day is lesser siddhis, lesser perfect practitioners. What happened? Because of these conditions. Like we have become more comfortable, technologies grow up, mind is distracted, snatched, by all the electronic gadgets things. It is true, but that is we are telling to each other, of course, very difficult to give up. I have maybe 100 computers, 100 televisions, 100 telephones. Still I'm hungry, demand to have. Like this. Anyway, that I'm just kind of. But if you are good boy, good girl, good practitioners, with maybe take care, more emphasize to practice Dharma, a little bit difficult things can occur. Practice patience. Geshe, like Shavoba says, nice one, he says, practice Dharma with sincerity you obtain in life should be poverty, sir. Options, ambition or ambitious. Ambition. To practice Dharma with sincerity, your ambition in life should be poverty. Okay, not going to die hungrily like this. And also at the end of a life of the poverty, you should be able to deal with your death. Absolutely. And if you are like kind of the poverty, then it's easily to deal with your death. If you are like kind of the very comfort, well-being, popularities, those beings is very, very difficult to deal with their death. They have such a kind of ambitions to this life, and also they have such attachment to in this life. They want to die. They don't want to die. They all the time to say. And death process impossible to stop. They have inconceivable sufferings. They shouting to say, please, I cannot to die. But death is arrive. Who can to stop? Buddha, God, no bodies. Very difficult to deal. But if your properties, there's not much kind of things. You have a little things, you haven't got any desire. Whoever takes, please, nothing kind of the desire attached in this world to your position, to your family, to your thing kind of. Nothing. But maybe may you think this is not very good, no kind of the compassion, because you should to take care, you need to think about your family. And when you are death process, like medicine, doctors cannot to help you, you are definitely going to die, then you have such attachment to your family belongings. What is the benefit? If you have attachment to your family, it's more disturbed, more making big problems here. And during the life, to be together, you should to help each other, to be kind. That is very important. When your death process start, like I love my families, I cannot leave them. For Dharma practitioners, they haven't got any. Take care of yourself. I'm leaving. That's all. It's like kind of the Buddha medicine Buddhas. Mothers died. And mother said, you are the medicine Buddha. Can you stop my death? Mom, it's true. I need to do, but this death is like no bodies. It is the part of your life, the path of your like journey in this world. And before you die, I told you many times, you need how to deal your death. And now it's like this kind of situation. Now you are afraid. Do not need afraid. It is, but difficult to stop the death. And therefore, it's like kind of deal with your death. And then it's like if you have this attitude, tomorrow die, today die, now it's like kind of your body, everything explosion. You haven't got any fear. Your mind is never die, deathless. Then it's a body is a body. This is like kind of the water bubble, morning foggy, and kind of very fragile. Anytime it can to disappear. But you are already prepared. Your death is very easily to deal. Then it's like kind of this attitude you have. You can be sure that no God, demon, or human beings will ever be able to make difficult for you. Absolutely. This God means it's like kind of some in the drumming God, or some is like kind of called the God, but not really God. Demon is like, of course, like kind of the humans. They cannot do, like Jetsun Malaripa, when he was in the cave, like many kind of we call the divine, like they came to analyze to him, cannot to attack to him. ghost, like a rock ghost came, they cannot do nothing. Even the 3 hunters, human beings came. First time they saw that their person, they says, give to us food, everything. And then he says, I haven't got any, I have a nettle if you want. And they don't believed. They went inside the cave. Maybe this is like something very strange human beings. They kind of burn it. They put in the, like kind of throw to hide the rock, put in the water, but each moment went back to the cave. They cannot do nothing. They put arrow, it doesn't go. And then finally they become the student. This kind of, any kind of difficulties, never kind of no need to worry. Like this, Malaripas also said, Jetson Malaripa say, no one to ask me if I'm sick. Wonderful. No one to mourn me when I die. Mourn means no one's crying when I die. To die here alone in this hermitage house. It is everything a yogi could wish for. That is the wonderful. My wish is like this. If I'm sick, please nobody's have anybody's kind of to ask me, how are you? If this kind of like a lonely person become, and in the cave, if I'm dies and nobody's crying, there's no friend, no families. Even his like kind of sisters say you need to look after yourself and I will to accomplish the Dharma. I give you everything. If you want to practice Dharma, come with me. Of course you cannot do. And don't cry, Petangans. And also he said that, no trace of the feet outside my door. No trace of the blood within. To die here alone in this hermitage. It is everything a yogi could wish for. Every day concerning like this, wonderful. And someone's coming into the cave, like Jetson Malaripa's food trace, there's nothing. Inside the cave, someone's eaten, or maybe it's like become the rainbow body, even that there's no trace of the blood. Like kind of the birds flying, and nothing kind of left inside. This kind of the yogi, no attachment, then very easily to deal with the death. And also it's just a Malaripa says, no one to the wonder where I have gone. Wonderful things. Nobody's asked, where are you going? Where are you staying? Wherever he want, he go. Wherever he want to stay, he want. It's wonderful, like we need to like this. No particularly place to go. Nothing there is destinations. I want to go to there to stay, settle something. Wherever I arrive, there to stay. There's nothing kind of the specific fixated place. Like this way, to die here alone in the hermitage, this everything a yogi could wish for. And also Malaripa's prayers. My corpse can rot and be eaten by the worms. My gristle and a bone be sucked dry by the flies. To die here alone in the hermitage is everything yogi could wish for. And like this is not like kind of some famous rich lonely person die in the house. like a millionaire's house, they die, full of the fridges of food, and full of the wardrobes like kind of cloth. Then they die, they're rotten. But that is like, this life is rotten, but next life is rotten. Here is this kind of yogi, and they never become the rotten. They die alone in the cave. And maybe the eater, it is the daka and dakinis. Maybe not kind of the insect, the worms. But there's nothing left. They are like taken away. And also there's nothing kind of the flies, sucker or the eater of the bones and the veins. But all the like kind of the and the invisible, like some sentient beings, they take it away. They're relics. Nothing there left us, like a rainbow's bodies. This way to alone to die in the hermitage place. Wow, wonderful, Jetsan Malaripa. Think of me. I would to become like this. Wonderful, wonderful. Like this. The surround is like many families cry and full of the like many things. And very difficult to deal with the death. It is therefore of the fundamental importance to cast to the like wind all the craving of ordinary life and to practice without caring about heat, cold, or any other difficulties. Any kind of the disattachment of the in this life worldly to sending the wind, and wind need to carry away, and to bear any cold, heat, cold, anything difficult, and then is need to accomplish it, perfect Dharma, to practice Dharma. That is the practice patient in order to practice Dharma. Okay, maybe we can to stop. Okay, 15 minutes.